Coming to you on a nightcap. It's Monday. It's October 13th. You know what time it is. Bama football on the late tip with the one, the only, Kyle Henderson of Bama football on YouTube. Hey, fam, what's up? I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Run the thumbs up. And welcome to tonight's show. Double dipping today. We had the AM show at 10 a.m. And now here we are as we get into the evening time. Please drop me a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Some people call me Kyle Cortez in the evening time. You can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. Today on the show, we'll recap a couple items from today. I'm going to ask you some questions. I did ask you some questions to hit me up on the mailbag where you can find in the community post tab. All right. So you can drop me a question and I will feature it on the show from time to time. So I wanted to get into it, and thank you so much to everybody who's kicking it with me tonight right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I hope that you guys had a really good Monday. All right. So getting kind of into it and jumping from the top, I think we got to start out with the injury report, right? I think anytime you have a player like Jan Miller, let me get this lined up for everybody. A player like Jan Miller who went out, it's significant on many different levels, right? You have him going out with the concussion, and I think it's going to be interesting to monitor this week kind of the concussion protocol with somebody like Jan Miller, because let me ask you inside the comment box, do you feel that Alabama's offense has taken a big step forward with Jan Miller at running back? I do. I mean, the numbers speak for itself. I mean, you look to the fact that he got 20 carries against Vanderbilt. He got 20 carries against Missouri. Clearly, Alabama wants to feature him at running back. So it's going to be something to watch. Now, we've seen this Alabama offense without Jan Miller and how they operate. And can they still operate at a high level? Yes. But I think going forward, we've clearly found out the recipe for Alabama's offense, and that is to play keep away. And that is to have time of possession on Alabama's side, right? So getting Jan back and making sure he's just healthy personally is really big and really important for Alabama, not only for this game, but going forward, because he is the type of back that can help you win time of possession. I have a graphic that I showed earlier today. You know, the loss against Florida State, that's the only team that was able to win the time of possession so far against Alabama. And if you go back to their losses, even dating back to last year, even against the game against Tennessee, Tennessee was able to win the time of possession. Vanderbilt won the time of possession. Michigan won the time of possession. Oklahoma won the time of possession last year. Alabama has flipped the script, and most importantly, they've won the time of possession in each of the 3 SEC games that they have played this year. So super important to get Jan Miller back. You guys keep me posted on that Atlanta and Buffalo score inside the comment box. Did Buffalo score, by the way? Because I know it was 21-14, and then Buffalo just blocked that field goal. So let me know inside the comment box. Curious to see how that one turns out. Regarding Derek Meadows, that's another guy who's out. He suffered a concussion and a brutal hit. I guess it was a clean hit. That's what people were saying. I don't know. I just hope that the kid's okay going forward. You know, he's down on the depth chart, but he was starting to get opportunities. They put him in against Missouri. He goes down. You also have Jalen Mbakwe. It looks like he has a hand injury. I don't know, what type of hand injury. You have 5 fingers, you have a palm, you have a wrist, you have all sorts of stuff on your hand. So could be anything. But Coach Kalen DeBoer did say today that they could use him in other areas. And I was like, well, how? Like on defense, put the club out? Does that mean? I don't know. I got to tinfoil thinking. You got Quay Rusak. He's been out for a while now with a foot injury. You got Caden Jones, who's kind of new to the injury list. He had ankle surgery. He's an inside backer. You got John Latham, who's done for the year with the neck. And then you have Jeremiah Beeman. He's done for the year with the leg. So you do have a lengthy injury report. I think most notably we're watching Jan Miller to see, if he does come back this week, and we'll keep you posted on that. I do want to bring this up to you guys, and I might run this. It's a wrist injury for Bach. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, I was like, he said hand, so I was like, what is that? Could be anything, right? Now, I have to say this. Alex, what's up, man? Thank you for becoming a fan funder of the show, man. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for all your support, man. Alex, you've always been up in the corner, so I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm trying to line this up so it looks aesthetically eye-pleasing. So there's a rumor going around right now on Ryan Williams, and the rumor is this, that he's going to be out several weeks. I haven't heard that. I've heard it as a rumor. People have asked me about it. I get a lot of different Instagram messages. I get messages on the Facebook channel, about these type of rumors and this. I wouldn't believe this for right now. Not until Coach Kalen DeBoer addresses something like this. People are always going to throw stuff out, especially about, somebody who's kind of been going through it, right? He's been up, he's been down, he didn't catch a reception. That means this, that means that. Just wait. People are going to be like, he's transferring, all that stuff. Until you really hear it from Coach Kalen DeBoer, it's just a rumor. So I've seen it. It's out there. People are talking about it. People are discussing it, about him being out. And we don't even know what the injury is. Coach Kalen DeBoer said that, it's something that still kind of dealing with from the last game. I started looking at it and I was like, what happened last game? I think that Ryan Williams, I don't know if this is it, but man, that guy has been targeted a couple different times against Georgia and against Vanderbilt. Neither of them were called. So I would just say rumor at that and just kind of put that to bed until you hear it from Coach Kalen DeBoer or some Omega. I would just be like, yo, that's a rumor. So I'm not worried about that at all. And you know what? Guess what? I'm still not selling on Ryan Williams. All right. Let's see. My concern level if Jam Miller don't play. Let me ask you, what is your concern level if Jam Miller does not play in this game against Tennessee? On a scale of 1 to 10. Look, Alabama has been able to find ways to win before Jam, went out. But they've had Jam in each of these last SEC games, right? So theoretically, and just saying, I have no idea if he's going to be able to come back. But if Jam Miller does not come back for Tennessee, it will be the first SEC game that Alabama has played in without Jam. You know what I'm saying? So, look, can you run the ball without him? I don't know. PZ says inside the comment box that you can't. Kevin Riley is a back that is explosive. Daniel Hill is a back that's built for 3rd and 2, right? Built for, short yardage. Those backs are not Jam. But still, with that said, I'm still confident, and I'll still pick Alabama this Saturday. Not just being fancy. I just think Alabama still has too many weapons. The offense has been elevated with the presence of Jam. It takes a step back without Jam. You add in the home factor, right? Alabama's playing at home. So you might lose a variable. You might add a variable. This is something that we'll track. And again, I think with somebody like Jam Miller, this is something we track. I don't know at this point in time if there's been, a timeline. We will learn on Wednesday when Alabama drops the official media watch list in terms of their player availabilities, in terms of is he probable, is he doubtful, is he out. We will track that as news happens, and that'll drop on Wednesday night. So something to watch for in terms of Jam Miller. But, the concern level, I think it does go up without Jam Miller because, like I said, this would be the first game that they don't play in the SEC without Jam Miller, right? And I think Willie Cam brings up a good, point. It's like pass pro. How are these other running backs faring in pass pro compared to Jam Miller, right? That's something that is very, very important. So something that we will keep track on as we go forward. And again, I appreciate you guys kicking it with me tonight on this Monday night nightcap. You guys, is it still 21-14, Atlanta and Buffalo? All right. And by the way, I saw Bijan Robinson. That guy, I wish I would have had him on my fantasy football team. I do. The guy is unbelievable in every shape and facet. The guy, he's crazy. All right. Okay. Also, I'm going to ask you inside the comment box. Austin Cortez, what's up, dog? Josh Johnson, Alex Wilder, what's up, man? Good to see you guys. Timothy what's up, man? Brian, good to see you guys. Appreciate it. You guys feeling the nightcap? Yeah, I added the ticker today. Do you guys like the ticker? All right. So I added this ticker, and then this is what it'll be like for tomorrow. Does this look okay? You know me. I'm always messing with stuff. So I added the ticker up top. I don't think that's too messy. I don't know. Let me know. I don't want it to be overly busy. But for the nightcaps, I usually run with like a full screen. Well, that's a new full screen. That's the wash along full screen. Here I'm back. All right. So my question for you right now inside the comment box is, should Michael Carroll start over Wilkin Formby? And I'm talking about a freshman starting over Wilkin Formby, who's been here. What is Wilkin Formby now? A redshirt sophomore? I think he is. Man, I was looking at Cole Kublik, who does an amazing job breaking down teams. And he's an offensive line guy, right? Defensive mindset, but he breaks it down. He loves the trenches. And he called out the right side of the ball of Alabama. He had a lot of positive things to say, but where his negatives were about Alabama's right side. And despite Pro Football Focus having a higher grade for Wilkin Formby as opposed to Michael Carroll, man, I think it's time that you let Carroll be that starter at right tackle up until we're like, okay, he's not the guy. Because I don't think that we've seen enough of him at right tackle to really make a full assessment. And I think what we've seen, we've liked. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look, it's a popular topic right now. And I think if Alabama's offense doesn't want to continue to have an issue at that side, you need to make some changes, because we're getting to the second half of the season. And if I know it as a YouTuber and you know it as a fan that watches the game, imagine what Josh Heupel knows. Imagine, they're going to take advantage of Alabama continually, and it's just a matter of time. Look, Ty Simpson was sacked. He fumbled. Missouri scored. You don't want that to continue to happen down the road. You have to be able to fix the right side, and I have no idea what's going on with Jaden Roberts. I really don't at guard. I thought he would play more, but I mean, it is what it is. He's not gonna play meaningful snaps unless something drastically changes. In Real Rare TV says, yeah, Formby is not it. I appreciate the super dog. Thank you so much, man. Hope you're doing well tonight. Love that avatar, by the way, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So I don't think that I think that is an issue right now, clearly, okay? But I have another question for you. And we have to ask the tough questions, okay? So, should Dijon Lee start over Domani Jackson? Yes or no inside the comment box. I think with this one, oh, man, looking at Domani Jackson's performance over the last couple of games, he's a guy, and I hate to say it because, man, I really like Domani Jackson. And I felt he was going to be the guy this year. But as we get to this middle point of the season, he's a guy that seems to be regressing. And defensive coordinator Kane Womack spoke about this today. He said, you know what? Your on-the-field play dictates your playing time. And that's just how it has to be. And he really hasn't been performing. And I think you have a true freshman who's been doing a hell of a job. So right now you have to make the decision, and Dijon Lee, I think, is going to be that guy, and he's going to play more and more. He doubled the snaps of Domani Jackson in this last game. And the crazy thing was I had never seen Domani Jackson. I never thought I would see this. You guys saw the viral clip, right? Where he stepped out, where he didn't want contact. That was crazy. Man, I was so disappointed to see that, because I feel like Domani is a better player than that. So I think at the beginning of the season, I probably said this a couple times, I felt like Domani Jackson would maybe take Xavier Brown's spot. But here we are now after 6 games, and it looks like Dijon Lee is close to taking Domani Jackson's spot. So something that we are tracking going forward, but I think something has to change. Who would you guys start? Would you guys continue to roll with Domani, keep swapping him out? What do you guys think inside the comment box? Aaron, what's up, man? Aaron says this inside the comment box. Let's see. I'll read it out. He says, I don't think he was ever that good. A lot of his plays, he was beat and the ball was underthrown and he broke it up or was just a drop. Every explosive run comes to his side. Interesting point out in terms of the runs that come to his side, right? Yeah, I have to dive into that. That's interesting. I want to look that up and see, where the stats are in terms of that. But, yeah, he's definitely on the struggle bus. And like I said, people know your weak spots. So they'll pick on him. They're going to run to that side, whatever it is. Something needs to change. And you know what? Domani just seems like he has it right now. Or Dijon seems like he has it right now. He's playing big. He should have really had 2 interceptions in this last game, right? Peasy says this. Jackson hasn't been getting no action, Kyle, so now he's sleepy at the corner spot. I felt there was a lot of teams that didn't throw his way, but now that things are starting to come and he's kind of been in focus, he hasn't been playing up to that standard, right? Unfortunately. So the good thing is you have Dijon Lee, who is an absolute menace, and I think Tennessee, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they have a 6'5" receiver, don't they? Now, I don't know if you can man up with him, if they're going tempo or whatever, but there might be some matchups where Tennessee's 6'5" receiver and Dijon Lee maybe come together, which would be one hell of a matchup. So something that we also are tracking. We had a question come in today, and you can ask these questions in the community tab. But Cody Hydon says this. He's like, our offense should be scoring 40 points a game. Why are they not scoring 40 points a game? I was thinking about it. I was like, Alabama scored, I guess, they scored 31 against Vanderbilt, 27 against Missouri. I kind of consider the start of the season when you start playing the SEC games. And would you score 27 against Georgia? This was an interesting question. And Ryan Grubb was even asked about this today. He was like, did you leave points on the board, right? And he basically said yes. I think a lot of it is Alabama can't go as fast as they want to go because they still are concerned about the defense being out on the field too much. So the method for Alabama to win a lot of games is going to be time of possession. So could this team be scoring 45 points a game, 50 points a game? Yeah. I mean, I don't know in SEC play, but they could probably be scoring a lot of points. But on the flip side, I think that they would be allowing a lot more points. So you have to have more of a methodical approach in moving the sticks and keeping these long scoring drives going to keep your defense, which, look, the defense is doing well, but you don't want the defense out there, more than your offense. It comes down to which unit is better, I think, and the offense is better than the defense. The defense can come up with stops, and they've done that, but you don't want their defense out there, and you don't want the defense to get into like a shootout. So if Alabama needs to go lightning, and they've shown that what they got against Vanderbilt, it was like, a minute 11? They got down the field and they put points on the board, but I don't think they want that to be their game. I think they want a 16-play scoring drive that, covers the length of the field, that wears down the defense and gives the defense time to stay fresh. So the defense really has to only go out there and make 3 to 5 stops as opposed to 5 to 9. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I was thinking. I like the question. I really do, 100%. Let's see. Tweets John asked this inside the comment box earlier today too. He says this: Can Ken and Will Kane change his defense? I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is the defense that Alabama has, and I think this is the defense that Kane Womack is going to run. And just as I was saying in the previous point, it is working. And you're like, really? Well, you held Missouri to 24 points. You held Georgia to 21 points. You held the nation's #1 running back to 52 yards. You held Diego Pavia to 198 passing yards. So is it working? Yeah, because, you're not putting them out on the field. Now, you're still allowing some chunk yardage plays, but teams at this level are going to get theirs. So this is your defense. The guys are making plays. And the thing that I'd like to highlight, too, is we're starting to see more guys make plays. And on my morning show, which the morning show is much more like official and, all the graphics and stuff like that. But I wanted to high point 31 and 42. And Kane's able to now get those guys out onto the field, 42 being Yanzi Pierre and 31 being Keon Keeley. Those guys look good. And they're adding depth and adding value to Alabama's defense. It's been a pleasure to see Keon Keeley play. Man, I've been waiting for a long time. Can I get a thumbs up on Keon Keeley, number 31? Man, he looks good. I'm not going to lie. He looks really good coming off the ball. Thought he did a really good job against Missouri in some limited opportunities, but it gave me confidence to see how good he looked. So big fan of his game, 31, and Yanzi Pierre, 42, had 2 forced fumbles. By the way, the Atlanta Falcons able to beat the Bills. What was the final? Was it 21 to I guess I could look up that. Bills and Atlanta score. Bills football score. 24-14. Looks like it's going to be your final. Atlanta Falcons will move to 3-2. The Bills will move to 4-2. Good win for Atlanta, Michael Penix Jr. on the night, 20 of 32, 250 yards at tutty. But the star of the show was, my goodness, Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson, 19 carries, 170 yards. Oh, my God. Yo, Bijan Robinson, how many fantasy points was that? And he also had 6 catches for 68 yards. Oh, my goodness. Does anybody have Bijan Robinson on their fantasy football team? Whew, man, 24-14. All right. That's wild. Big win, big win. My other point was, how important is time of possession to this team? I think this might be the most important thing that you have going for you, is to win the time possession every single game, right? You've won it in the last 3 games against SEC teams, right? You have to continue to do it this week against Tennessee. Tennessee wants to keep the football. It's going to be a battle of time of possession again. Robert Crawford says this, Kyle, why doesn't Alabama ever run a reverse, seeing that every defense rushes trying to bull us? They've had some gadget plays, and did they run? I think they ran a reverse or was a jet sweep a couple different times. I wouldn't put anything past Ryan Grubb. So that's probably something we're watching. Will Caden Proctor be running the reverse? Probably not. But he'd probably be throwing a pass. Good question, Robert. 1904 says this, Kyle, what do you think about mixing another inside linebacker with Justin Jefferson? The thing is, Deontay Lawson continues to grade out and lead the team in tackles, right? So Nakai Hill-Green will spot play. Deontay Lawson gets in there. I think he's been playing adequate, and he's kind of like having a quiet, really good season, Deontay Lawson. So those are your inside backers. We really haven't seen any of those freshmen play, Luke Metz, Duke Johnson, Abdul Sanders. But maybe in the future we see someone else come off, considering that Caden Jones is now down with the ankle. And you also have QB Reese, who I don't think we've seen much of him this season. Right? All right. I have another question coming in from Big Bo Peep. What's up, Big Bo Peep? He says, how long until we lose focus and lose again? Good question. Like, can you keep the right psychological disposition and keep winning games? The thing about this particular team is you lost at the perfect time of the season. Not for us, but if you're going to lose in college football, lose in the beginning of the season. And that's why I'm so scared about Alabama's remaining schedule, because I feel that Alabama will be heavily penalized if they lose late, okay? Just stay with me, okay? And by the way, Big Bo, I think that they'll be fine. I think that they'll have the right mindset because they already got punched in the mouth, right? But here's the thing. They have to understand that their back is kind of still against the wall because Alabama is held to a different standard. Alabama is held to a higher standard just because of the brand and because of Bama fatigue. So, meaning this, okay? That last game of the season scares the you-know-what out of me. If Alabama somehow, let's say they run the table let's say they have like 2 losses in the SEC, which I don't think they're going to, but if somehow they were like able to lose to Auburn or some crazy thing, they would be penalized. The schedule wouldn't matter. It would just be about who you lost to. So that's why I'm always comparing those Big Ten schedules, because they don't play anybody. Bama's back is against the wall. Can they afford to lose another game? Yes. Will they lose another game? I don't think so, not within the regular season, but the schedule is hard as you know what. So it's like they have to continue to have that one-game mindset, because Alabama has to know they're going to be held to a different standard. Even if this Alabama team doesn't make the SEC championship game, that loss to Florida State looks worse and worse the more games that Florida State loses, right? I mean, I would have never thought that Florida State would have this bad of a crash out. Oh, my goodness, all right? And kind of same question from Ollie Brown, asking if Alabama's going to get too cocky from last year. No, I think there's a completely different mindset within this team. And it all comes to losing that first game, right? Let's see. Timothy asks, where do I think Alabama will be ranked once Alabama curb stomps Tennessee? Probably top 5, right? I mean, that would be Alabama's 4th consecutive win over a top 25 team. They got to be. And considering that Ole Miss and Georgia play, I don't know what will happen in that. We polled it today. We feel that Georgia is going to win that game. So if Georgia wins, Ole Miss takes a drop, right? Texas A&M, they'll continue to win. So I would imagine that Alabama will be a top 5 team after they beat Tennessee. Now, again, even with that victory, and by the way, Texas A&M is in action against Arkansas. But remember, even if Alabama wins another SEC game, they still haven't punched their ticket to the championship or to the playoffs. So it's like, great, get ready for South Carolina. Get ready for LSU, right? Get ready for Auburn. It's like you got to keep winning week by week. But in terms of after, Alabama's able to beat Tennessee, which I think they will, and I think this game will be close. Close for me probably means 10. I'll make my score prediction and stuff like that later on in the week, but I'm going to pick Bama. At home, I like Bama. On the road, it's going to be tough. Tennessee has beaten Alabama the last 2 times at Neyland Stadium. The last 2 times. Remember, they pumped in all that fake sound? That's what Alabama should do to Tennessee, is they should find a way to pump fake music over there, right? All right, a couple more things. Who do you guys think gets Penn State? Does Penn State get like a massive name? I don't know. Is Penn State like a blue blood? I don't think they are. I've seen all sorts of hot boards. I think we went over some names today. Matt Rule, right? Lance is saying Rule, Nebraska's coach to Penn State. I could see that. The name that I was throwing out was Alex Golesh from South Florida. I think we all have respect for him as we've seen him progress over the last couple years as a head football coach. People say Matt Campbell from maybe Iowa State. There's a lot of new names. People were saying Manny Diaz, right, from Duke. There's a lot of coaches that will probably be up there. Penn State has a ton of money, as Dano points out. Marcus and St. Pete saying Kiffin. That's an interesting point. I say no. I think Kiffin stays around in the SEC, but I definitely do think that he has outgrown Ole Miss. That's something that I continue to say. But, man, the Big Ten has so much money. It's crazy. KTK, you're saying drink a name to watch? You talking about Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri? Huh. I'm not mad at that, actually. I didn't think about that, but I ain't mad at that. Somebody also said Clark Lee from Vanderbilt. I kind of like the Eli Drinkwitz. That would be interesting, right? Man, but Alex Golesh, I think that guy's a name flying under the radar. Okay, another name for you guys right here. How about this one? Will Florida State fire Mike Norvell? I think Adidas paid Franklin's contract, right? It was like $48 million. And now you have Mike Norvell. I think he sits at like 58. Florida State clearly on the struggle bus. What's happening to them, I didn't foresee that coming following, them taking Alabama to the woodshed. Here we stand with Florida State now dropped, 3 games in a row. I'll go full screen. Look at this. This Florida State beat Bama. We thought they arrived. And now they've lost 3 games in a row. This weekend they travel to face the Cardinal in Palo Alto. By the way, anyone ever been out to Palo Alto before? Do we have any people from California up in here? Yo, Palo Alto is nice, man. This campus, I've been there. Stanford is so nice. Beautiful. That area, beautiful. Look, this whole deal with Mike Norvell, it's been ugly the last, 2 seasons. I mean, last year, it was crazy to think they were 2-10. They thought they found themselves. They beat Bama. They thought they arrived. They thought it was their Super Bowl. And now they've lost 3 in a row. They're 0-3 in ACC play. You know what I'm saying? Well, James Franklin, he was 0-3 in Big Ten play, and he just got fired. So, look, if they lose to Stanford, does he get fired? By the way, what's the line on that game? Can somebody look up the line between Stanford and Florida State? I don't know. And then they play Wake Forest, Clemson, Virginia Tech, North Carolina State, and Florida. So does Mike Norvell get fired? I don't think so. But, anything is feasible right now in college football, right? Because recruiting, right? So my next question is this. Will Auburn fire Hugh Freeze? Yes or no inside the comment box. Auburn is another team that is 0-3 in SEC play, right? This is a team that was supposed to be better this year. I thought they would be better. I actually watched them, and I thought, you know what? I watched them against Baylor, and I watched them against Oklahoma. And I wasn't against Baylor, I was like, you know what? These guys look better than last year. And against Oklahoma, I was like, hey, they played a good game, right? And look, they've played 3 top 15 teams, okay? Oklahoma, A&M, Georgia. Those are good football teams, right? I mean, what is the combined record of each of those teams? I mean, A&M hasn't lost. Oklahoma has a loss. Georgia has a loss. So, and they played them all close, right? Shoot, they were beating Georgia 10-0. Right? So, coming up, they got Missouri this weekend. And then, 2 winnable games in the SEC against Arkansas and against Kentucky. And then, it's a challenging schedule. Hey, welcome to the SEC. You got to win games. And I think Auburn's AD was asked about this today, about Hugh Freeze, and maybe him, getting the seat hot. But it doesn't seem like it. So maybe good for Alabama fans, but who it's not good for is for recruiting. Because, man, this day and age, it's about wins. And these players, they can go all over the place. And once players start decommitting, that's kind of sign of the times, right? So, man, I think the players that are committed to Auburn, they have to, figure out how long is this guy going to be here, especially the in-state guys, right? So, and I know they just dismissed a running back today. So there's a lot going on at Auburn right now. And if you're an Auburn Tiger fan, I don't know how happy you are. You're 0-3, and I think beating this Missouri team, I think that will be a close game, like these other games have been. But I don't know if they come away with a victory. It's Missouri's first away game, so maybe give me Auburn in that game, right? So that's kind of where we stand, at this point in time. For coaches maybe on the hot seat. You see this in kind of some more college football news. You saw Alex Mortensen is the acting head football coach at UAB. Alex Mortensen, he was the quarterback whisperer over here for quite some time. That guy's a damn good coach. I don't know how he is as a head football coach, but he's a quarterback whisperer. I'm serious. When all those quarterbacks were running through here, before he was the quarterback whisperer for like Steve Sarkisian. Him and A.J. Milwee. I have no idea where that guy went, but those were the guys. Mortensen is absolute baller. And Steve Taylor says that the line, Florida State 17.5 over Stanford. Oh, man, he's got to win that game. If he don't win that game, he might be fired. Well, Red says Auburn fires their AD before their coaches. And, you got to look back and you're like, what was wrong? Why'd they fire Gus Malzahn? He was the only coach that could beat Coach Saban. Man, if you beat Coach Saban one time, twice, I'm impressed. You're getting contracts, right? So, but that's the nightcap. So I appreciate you guys kicking it here on Bama Football on YouTube on the evening time. I told you guys I try to add some more evening shows because I know a lot of you can't catch the morning show. Or even if you have caught the morning show, there's so much news that's happened that you might need a nightcap. You might need an evening show just to kind of rehash some stuff. And that's fine with me. The only thing is I am an early riser. So like tomorrow, my alarm is set at 4 a.m. So I got to go from here directly to bed because I got to get that workout in. It's just so important. So thanks for kicking with me tonight. I appreciate it. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys always being here. Thank you. It's important to me. It's important that I get to talk to you guys about this, and you guys are here, so I'm all for it. I hope you guys had a good show on the nightcap. It's a little bit more informal, right? I wear a backwards hat. I'm kind of more chill. I feel like, and this is something I'm always going through, like because I'm like a super professional person. Like my shows during the day, I wear like a collared shirt, and my hair looks like it's from the 50s. It's like parted and stuff. But in the nighttime, I feel like it, be a little bit more kicked back. Oh, man. But I appreciate you guys. So, as always, you guys sleep well. Say your prayers. Thank God for your opportunities, even for the doors that remain closed to you, because sometimes those doors are just meant to be closed for your protection. You feel me? All right. Well, I sincerely appreciate it kicking with you guys all the time right here on Bama Football on YouTube. This is Rivalry Week. Pick out your favorite cigar. Get it ready. Don't smoke it until the game's over, right? And as news happens, I got you covered right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Live every single day at 10 a.m. And more nightcaps coming your way. All right, you guys ready for the outro? The little lo-fi today, all right? All right, I love you, fam. Sweet dreams, and I'll catch you soon, right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Hey, thanks for watching Bama Football on YouTube, live every day, 10 a.m. Central Time, or as news happens. All day, every day, Alabama football coverage. Run the thumbs up, and sweet dreams, and we love you. We out. Good night, fam.